time for another maintenance slash upgrade to the trailer. Today I am working on the tires. The tires we have on there are 14 ply Gladiator QR35s. They've been on this trailer since 2012. They are well dated, dry rotted, and worn uneven. One of them started wearing uneven on our way from Colorado down to Florida. So join me. Let me show you everything I'm going to do as I change the tires, because it's not just as simple as taking the tires off and going to get them changed. There's other things I want to do while the tires are off the trailer. So as I do this, I'm not going to need much more right now other than my impact that I always keep with me and a 22 millimeter socket. This is a shallow 22, but that's all I got right now. Typically you should use a deep well impact socket when taking your tires off. Now I've already used the trailer to raise this axle off the ground, so let's get this tire off and do some other things on top of changing the tire. So these lug nuts do have the beauty cap on them, which doesn't make it easy. It kind of sucks. Ford used them for a while. I remember when I was working at the Ford dealer, it would always make it a hassle of trying to take off the lug nuts on some of the Fords, because the beauty cover on the lug nuts would swell up and stick inside your socket. This is what I talk about. You gotta fight to get them out. If I could, I would get rid of the beauty covers on top of these lug nuts, because it makes them a little bigger than what they are. Because this is a 22 socket, those are actually 22 millimeter lug nuts, but with the beauty covers on there, it makes them slightly bigger. So here comes the first tire. As you seen just a second ago, the dry rot is pretty severe in these tires. They were about 14 years old though. So it's kind of, 12, 13 years old, something like that. Who's counting? The date code on these are the 22nd week of 2012. So they are, like I said, aged. They are worn uneven, which I'm assuming was either an imbalance or the shock could have went bad. Just the tire doing this motion caused it to wear uneven on the outside tread of the tire from Colorado to here. Actually looking at it, it moved in just into the second line of tread. But it's time for them to go. And one of the things I do like about the trailer when I bought it was it does have a upgraded suspension to an extent. It doesn't have just the factory leaf springs and shock. It does have a trail air airbag system on the axles itself, which helps ride a little better down the road. It doesn't bounce quite as much, and the airbags absorb a lot of the road. Also have a trail air pin box on the front of the trailer, which is shock and airbag cushioned. So I did fib. I am going to need a little bit more than just my impact and socket, so I'll be back in a second. Now I do have to take off the bearing dust cover in order to remove the hub nut to take the drum off to be able to inspect the brakes. That's one of the other things that I'm doing while I'm here, is inspecting my brakes, because honestly I've never checked them since I've had the trailer. The trailer's almost 20 years old. I don't know when the last time the brakes were changed. So I'm going to try to pry them off using just my screwdriver. I may have to go get a hammer. Typically these things should not be on there very hard at all. So it does have some decent grease in there, but doesn't mean the last guy didn't just pack the exterior here. He could have done like some of the other people and put grease on there to look like they have been freshly packed. Now the first thing you need to do when you pull your axle bearings, one is remove that dust cover. Then you got to pull out your quarter pin, which holds the castle nut in. That's a quarter pin. So after you remove the quarter pin, you got to remove the castle nut. This one seems like it is on there the way it should be. Typically I like leaving my stuff close by, so I'll put my castle nut on the spring, suspension spring, that way it's close by. This portion of the job is pretty dirty. Some people will just pull hub and all out together. The downside of that is you risk dropping your wheel bearings, your hub bearings, down into the dirt, the sand, whatever it is. And here in Florida, well, it's sand. Sand can be detrimental to your bearings. You can get in there and crud up and eat the surface up on the bearing themselves. See, that's my bearings, or my outer bearing. Now I should be able to pull the hub off to be able to inspect my trailer brakes. Now you want to, when you get ready to put your stuff back together, I kind of skipped over a little bit. You want to torque your castle nut down to specification, then back it off to specification of your trailer, your axles. Every manufacturer is different. You do want to have a decent amount of free spin to your axle. That way it creates a lot less heat on your axle when you're going down the road. And it will extend the life of your axles. That seems about right. And you want to kind of shake your hub and make sure you don't have any play in it. Well, maybe just a little bit, but once you get look up your specifications for torque and everything else on your axle, your trailer, and go by that. But you want just a little bit of play, like you're checking a ball joint on a tire. Ouch! Alright, so now that I'm all bandaged up, I possibly broke the tip of my finger, like I did my thumb, but the fingernail is cut open pretty bad. Anyways, so like I said, make sure you check your brakes and your bearings to the specification of your RV's axles. Different brands, different ones, so make sure you check those. I almost say at least once a year. But I'm gonna get this tire on, then we gotta head off to the adventure. Alright, so we've gotten to our adventure, and it is kind of a late birthday present for Everly. She knows what it is because it's right here. She can see it. And the adventure for this week is going to be horseback riding on the beach. She's been a horse fanatic for some weeks now, and I found the opportunity to get her on a horse, and as well as a beach at the same time during sunset. Sadly, it's an overcast right now, so we may not get to watch the sunset during this adventure, but it's a beach ride on horses.
The rain, he likes to lose rain if not, he won't. Now that I know, I'm grown up and perfect. I'm controlling a horse.
Yeah.